Hi, my name's Christina Hartman, and the character quality that I chose was accountability. So I wanted to start off with a poem that I found called Passing the Buck. It goes like this. Said the college professor, such rawness in a student is a shame, lack of preparation in high school is to blame. Said the high school teacher, good heavens, that boy's a fool, the fault of course is with the middle school. The middle school teacher said, from such stupidity may I be spared, they sent him to me so unprepared. The primary teacher huffed, kindergarten blockheads all, they call that preparation, why that is worse than none at all. The kindergarten teacher said, such lack of training never did I see, what kind of woman must the mother be? The mother said, poor helpless child, he is not to blame, his father's folks were just the same. Said the father at the end of the line, I doubt the rascal's even mine. So I think this poem is a great example of how multiple people pass the blame on to somebody else instead of being accountable for that individual. If one of the teachers or the college professor or even the parents would have been accountable for that child, they could have really had an opportunity to change his life in a positive way. The definition of accountability is an obligation or willingness to accept responsibility or to account for one's actions. In Teaching Character, Brown talks about having an athlete's mindset and having a non-athlete's mindset in regards to being accountable. And if you have a non-athlete's mindset, you're more of an excuse maker. So you place blame on others. So if you lost a game, you might blame it on Sally because she couldn't play defense, or on Jane, your goalie, because if she could have stopped a shot, maybe you would have won the game. Or maybe you blamed the coach. If the coach knew what they were talking about, we could have been more successful. If we would have worked on different things during practice, we would have been successful. Or they might blame the referees. If the referees made a call for the other team or against the other team, then maybe we would have had the opportunity to win the game. Or maybe they blamed the facility or the field that they were using. If this field was better, then we would have had a better opportunity to be successful. So they don't accept any blame for anything that happens, and they focus on things that they cannot control. They are also not honest about their own areas of weakness. So they see weakness as them being a victim, and nobody sees how talented they are. They don't see it as an opportunity to improve or better themselves. They also have difficulty admitting that they made a mistake. So again, instead of seeing this mistake as an opportunity to improve, they see it as a bad situation that they have to shift the blame to kind of feel better about that situation. But if you have an athlete's mindset, you're more of a problem solver. So you accept responsibility for your actions. So in a game, you kind of reflect and you realize that, well, maybe if I passed better, we could have had an opportunity to win. So you maybe hit the gym and you work on your stick skills more. Or if you were out hustled by an opponent, you hit the gym again and you condition more because you want to be better. So you take responsibility for your actions and you show that initiative to fix those problems. And when those things do go wrong, you look at yourself first. So again, what can I do to be better for next time? And you focus on the things that you can control. So you don't look at the referee making calls as something you can control. So you focus on, well, what can I do to make sure that that referee doesn't call that fault on me the next game? So you, again, take responsibility for that. In class, one of the presentations, Jim Canoe said, a man isn't a failure until he blames others, quits, or makes excuses. I think this is what accountability means. If you're blaming others, quitting, making excuses, you're failing. So to be successful, you have to take responsibility for your actions and use that responsibility to have initiative and fix the problems that you might see. An accountable athlete, so they believe that work and practice are the best way to improve. So they come to practice and they give 100% because they know that's the only way to improve. If they don't, then why bother practicing? Because you're not really improving, you're just staying the same. They see themselves as an active participant in their own rescue. So they know that to be rescued, you have to want to be, or to be better, you have to want to be. So they have that attitude, and that's how they're successful. and they analyze their strengths and their weaknesses. So they know what they're good at and they know what they're not, and they focus and make goals for their weaknesses so that their weaknesses turn into strengths. In athletics, I think it's just as important to have an accountable coach as it is to be an accountable athlete. So an accountable coach believes that organization and planning are key to a team's success. So Benjamin Franklin said, failing to plan is planning to fail. So accountable coaches know this, and they focus on everything that their team is going to need to know to be successful. So they prepare them for all game situations. They take responsibility for all situations. So if something doesn't go well, they take responsibility for that, and then they aim to fix it. If things are successful, the team's being successful, they're also giving credit to other people. They're not just taking credit themselves. And they take responsibility for continued learning. So every game is constantly changing. The rules are changing, strategies are changing. There's always new drills for all sports. So they are being accountable, taking responsibility on learning all of this and keeping their players updated so that they can, again, be successful. So having an accountable coach and having accountable athletes leads to an accountable team. So it aids in individual and team improvement. So as individuals become better, the team overall is going to be better. So it works on building strengths and turning weaknesses into strengths and improving them. So usually the system of play that coaches use and teams use is they play to individual players' strengths and they support each other's weaknesses. So they're, as a team, being accountable for each other, and maybe I know that my partner isn't as good at passing as I am, so I'm gonna back her up so she can make shorter passes instead of longer ones. So you kind of all work in a network all together to be successful. In my presentation, there's a Coach Carter movie clip. So I think that this clip is what every coach wants their team to be like. So it's about a athlete that didn't quite meet the requirements to make the team. So the team takes responsibility for that, and they do push-ups and sprints for him as well so that they can count so he can play on the team. Jason Lyle in the movie says, "We're a team. One player struggles, we all struggle. One player triumphs, we all triumph." So this is a great example of the team stepping up to work together, be accountable for each other, and because they're accountable for each other, they're able to grow together and be successful. All right, accountability is the glue that ties commitments to results. So I think that Coach Carter clip really focuses on this and shows how accountability has successful results. And then accountability minus empowerment equals blame. So that's more of your non-athlete mindset. So they don't take accountability for things because they're not empowered to improve. Therefore, they blame everybody else. Empowerment minus accountability equals low performance. So when you're empowered to improve, but you don't take accountability or responsibility for your actions, it's hard to improve and you're going to have a low level of performance. And then accountability plus empowerment equals high performance. So when a team is empowered to improve, they take responsibility for not only their actions, but the actions of their teammates. And this is what is going to lead to that higher level of performance. And that's where that team's going to have that big opportunity to be successful. All right, and then, so in conclusion, accountability is the foundation of teamwork. And taking accountability for not only yourself and your teammates leads to a higher level of performance and a better success rate. And accountability leads to growth. So it's really important to be accountable for your actions or you're not going to grow. And accountability is an important life skill. So if we teach accountability to our athletes, they're learning a skill that they can use for the rest of their life. All right, thanks for listening.